I psychologically tortured my friend at work for an entire night. He started it with a simple prank, moving my things around, making me question my own mind. He had absolutely no idea how far I was willing to go to finish it. His name was Joel, and for a solid week, he had been systematically dismantling my sanity. It was small things at first. I'd put my keys on the hook by the door, turn around, and they'd be gone. I'd search frantically for 10 minutes, only to find them sitting right back on the hook, exactly where I left them. He'd move my drink from one side of the counter to the other while my back was turned. He'd hide my favorite spatula, the one with the perfect worn-in edge, and then it would just reappear. Each time, I'd feel that cold spike of confusion. Am I losing my mind? Am I that tired? It was a slow, creeping gaslighting that made me feel like I was coming unglued. The worst part was his face. He'd watch me, a perfect mask of concern, asking if I was okay, if I was getting enough sleep. The whole time, he was the architect of my chaos. Finally, I caught him. I saw him out of the corner of my eye, sliding my phone from the prep station to the shelf under the register. I just stared at him. He froze, a guilty smirk spreading across his face, and confessed everything. I wasn't laughing. I looked him dead in the eye and I said, "I'm going to get you back." "You have no idea." He just chuckled, waved it off, and I think he genuinely forgot. He thought it was over. But I never forget. I let it wait. I let weeks go by, letting him think he'd won, that it was all just a funny story we'd tell later. I was just waiting for the perfect moment. And one Tuesday afternoon, as our shift started, I knew it was time. Joel and I both worked the second shift, usually starting around 2 in the afternoon. We worked in a kitchen, a place of constant noise, the sizzle of the grill, the bubble of the deep fryer, the clang of pots and pans. It was the perfect environment for what I had planned. He, like me, was the type to roll out of bed just minutes before he had to clock in, still half asleep and foggy. The perfect state of mind to be manipulated. We were talking, just shooting the breeze about something stupid. He turned away to check on an order, and that's when I did it. Just loud enough to be heard over the kitchen noise, but quiet enough to be deniable. I whispered, "I need you to wake up." He paused. "What did you say?" he asked, turning back. I looked at him, my face a perfect picture of innocence. I said, "Is that order up yet?" He squinted at me. "No, after that. You said something else." "No, I didn't," I said, my voice tinged with just the right amount of annoyance. "I'm trying to work, man. What are you talking about?" He shook his head, confused, and went back to the grill. Round 1 was a success. For the next hour, I kept it up. Anytime he wasn't looking directly at me, I'd whisper it. "I need you to wake up." Each time he'd ask, I'd deny it. I started faking frustration, acting like he was the one messing with me. "Dude, seriously, what is your problem today? Are you hearing things?" He started to get agitated. He knew he was hearing something. But my denials were so convincing, so firm, that a seed of doubt began to sprout in his mind. This was helped by the fact that we'd recently been talking a lot about lucid dreaming, trying to teach ourselves how to become aware and control our dreams. I was using his own curiosity against him. I was turning his mind into a prison and handing him the key, telling him it was for a door that didn't exist. Then, my other coworker, Brandy, caught on. I saw the moment of realization in her eyes, followed by a slow, wicked grin. She was in. A little while later, she was standing right next to Joel, looking him dead in the eyes as they discussed an order. And she did it. She whispered it, "You need to wake up." Joel flinched like he'd been shocked. "You too? What the hell is wrong with you guys?" Brandy played it perfectly. She reared back, offended. "What are you talking about, Joel?" I didn't say anything. "Are you feeling okay?" He looked back and forth between us, his face a mess of confusion and distress. He was outnumbered. 2 of us, telling him he was imagining things. He was visibly starting to unravel. The hardest part was getting creative. I started weaving the whisper into the middle of normal sentences. I'd be talking at a normal volume, then drop my voice to a barely audible whisper for just those 5 words, then go right back to normal. It was a masterpiece of vocal manipulation. "Hey Joel, did you remember to? I need you to wake up. Restock the ketchup?" He'd whip his head around. "What did you just say?" His voice getting more aggressive each time. "I asked if you restocked the ketchup. What is wrong with you? Are you high right now?" I'd shoot back, matching his aggression. I knew he didn't do drugs. Maybe a puff at a party once in a blue moon. But the accusation was designed to make him question everything. To make him feel like the crazy one. And that's when things went from bad to completely insane. I started to see him doing little reality checks. He'd pinch the skin on the back of his hand and stare at it, a puzzled look on his face when it hurt. He'd pick up a salt shaker and just let it go, watching it clatter to the counter as if he was surprised by gravity. He started staring at the walls, at the clock, at his own hands, like he was waiting for the world to melt away and reveal the reality underneath. He was genuinely, truly convinced that he was asleep, trapped in a dream he couldn't wake up from. I felt a surge of dark pride. My prank was working better than I could have ever imagined. He was completely under my spell. But I had no idea how close to the edge I had pushed him. I was at the prep station when I saw him walk over to the deep fryer. He wasn't getting an order of fries. He just stood there, staring into the vat of roiling, 350-degree oil. There was a strange calm on his face, a look of grim resolution. And then he started to lift his hand. He was going to do it. He was going to plunge his hand into the boiling oil to prove to himself, once and for all, that this was real. That pain would be the final, definitive reality check. My blood ran cold. This wasn't a prank anymore. This was dangerous. I lunged across the kitchen and snatched his wrist, pulling his hand back just as his fingers were inches from the surface. "Joel, what the hell are you doing?" He looked at me, his eyes wide and lost. "I have to wake up," he mumbled. "I have to." "You're awake," I said, my voice shaking a little. "This is real. Everything is real. Stop it." I didn't confess. Not yet. I just stopped the whispers. For the rest of the shift, I was the model of normalcy, trying to ground him back in reality. By the time we clocked out, he seemed to be calming down, though he still looked pale and unsettled. Me, Joel, and Brandy walked out to the parking lot together, making small talk, pretending the last 8 hours hadn't been a complete psychological assault. We split off to head to our cars. He was almost to his door when I couldn't resist one last twist of the knife. I turned and yelled across the dark, empty lot, "By the way, Joel, I need you to wake up." The scream he let out was primal. It was pure rage and frustration and fear all rolled into one. "Fuck you," he roared, the sound echoing off the brick walls of the building. The next day, he came in looking like he'd been through a war. His eyes were bloodshot, his face was drawn. He walked straight up to me, and for the first time in all the years I'd known him, I was genuinely scared of him. I honestly thought he was about to beat the hell out of me. And I knew I deserved it. He got right in my face, his voice low and trembling with fury. "Don't you ever fucking do that to me again." He jabbed a finger into my chest. I couldn't sleep last night. I was terrified to close my eyes. I didn't know if I would ever wake up again. I couldn't help it. A slow grin spread across my face. I looked him right in the eye. "Then don't ever move my shit again." The anger in his eyes flared, but then, something shifted. He saw the justice in it. He had made me feel crazy. I had made him feel crazy. It was a twisted, dangerous form of equilibrium. He took a deep breath, the tension leaving his shoulders. "All right," he said. "All right. We made a truce right then and there. No more pranks that could potentially lead to years of therapy. We were still friends, we still joked around, but we never crossed that line again." He started it, but I finished it. The prank was a masterclass in psychological warfare, and a small, dark part of me is still incredibly proud of it. But it pushed a friendship to its absolute limit and very nearly sent my friend to the emergency room. So where is the line between a harmless joke and genuine psychological cruelty? He drove me crazy for a week, and in return, I nearly broke his mind in a single night. Was the revenge justified, or did this go way too far?